Morning. Yuanwu 6. Meeting the Source on all sides. Those who are determined to practice the way practice self-awareness and self-understanding 24 hours a day. They think of this and focus on this. They know that the one great cause is there, right where they stand, that it is in sages without being augmented and in ordinary people without being diminished. They know that it stands alone, free from senses and sense objects, and that it far transcends material things. Wayfarers don't set up fixed locations in anything they do. They are clear and tranquil, with solid concentration, and the myriad changes and transformations never disturb them. They appear in response to conditions, and go in action as they encounter events, leaving nothing incomplete. You should just be empty and quiet, transcending everything. Once the main basis is clear, all obscurities are illuminated. 10,000 years, a single thought. A single thought, 10,000 years. Passing through the heights, or from the heights to the depths, the great function of the whole potential is in operation. It is like when a strong man flexes his arms. He does not depend on anyone else's strength. When the illusionary blinders of birth and death vanish forever, and the true essence, indestructible as a diamond, is all that shows. Did I say then or when? Once realized, it is realized forever. There is no interruption. All that the enlightened teachers, ancient and modern, have said and done, the scriptural teachings, the enlightenment stories, the meditation stories, and the question and answer sessions, all their teaching functions, all of this illuminates this true essence alone. If you can be free and clear in actual practice for a long time, naturally you will come to meet the Source on all sides and become unified and whole. Haven't you seen Fading's verse? Going into a wild field, not choosing, picking up whatever plant comes to hand, rootless but finding life, apart from the ground but not falling. Right before your eyes it has always been there, facing the situation. Why don't you speak? If you don't know it in your daily life, then will you look for it? If you don't know it in your daily life, where then will you look for it? Better find out. Truly genuine. Right now, if students are in fact truly genuine, Source teachers can contact their potential and activate it with a single word or phrase, or a single act or seed. What could be difficult about that? The only problem is when your faculties are unstable and your consciousness shallow, whirled around and around like the wind in the treetops. True reality is shown to you thousands and thousands of times, but you still cannot mesh with it. Even worse are those who are still wrapped up in making emotional interpretations and claim that there is no such thing as an entry into enlightenment. Well, if you think like this, then even in a blue moon you will never even dream of true reality. Therefore, in learning the way, what is most valuable is being true and sincere, serene and free. People who study the way begin by having the faith to turn toward it. They are fed up with the vexations and filth of the world, and they are always afraid they will not be able to find a road of entry into the way. Once you've been directed by a teacher, or else discovered on your own the original, inherently complete, real mind, then, no matter what situation or circumstances you encounter, you know for yourself where it's really at. But then, if you hold fast to that real mind, the problem is you cannot get out, and it becomes a nest. You set up illumination and function in acts and states, snort and clap and glare and raise your eyebrows, deliberately putting on a scene. When you meet with the genuine expert of the school again, he removes all this knowledge and understanding for you, so that you can merge directly with realization of the original, uncontrived, unpreoccupied, unminding state. After this, you will feel shame and repentance and know to cease and desist. If you will proceed to vanish utterly, so that not even the sages can find you arising anywhere, much less anyone else. So let me try that one sentence again. After this, you will feel shame and repentance and know to cease and desist. You will proceed to vanish utterly, so that not even the sages can find you arising anywhere, much less anyone else. That is why Yuanwu said, "These people who actually realize it just keep serene and free at all times, without cravings, without dependence." Isn't this the door to peace and happiness? In olden times, Guanxi went to Mushan. Mushan asked him, "Where have you just come from?" Guanxi said, "From the mouth of the road." Mushan said, "Well, why don't you cover it?" Zenji had no reply. Ooh, like that. The next day, Guanxi said, "What is the realm of Mount Moshan like?" And Maoshan said, "The peak doesn't show." Gaoshan said, "Well, what is the man on the mountain like?" And Moshan said, "Not any characteristics like male or female." Guanxi said, "Why don't you transform?" And Maoshan said, "I'm not a spirit or a ghost. What would I transform?" Weren't the Zen adepts in these stories treading on the ground of reality and reaching the level where one stands like a wall miles high? Thus it is said, at the last word, you finally reach the impenetrable barrier. Holding the essential crossing, you let neither holy nor ordinary pass. Since the ancestors were like this, how could it be that we modern people are lacking? Luckily, there is the indestructible diamond sword of wisdom. You must meet someone who knows it intimately, and then you can bring it out. Active meditation. The ancients worked hard for the sake of the great cause. Their determination is indeed worthy of respect, and they served as an everlasting example for later generations. When you set your body on the meditation bench, it is no more than silencing and emptying the mind and investigating your whole being. Just make your mind and thoughts clarify and become still. A fine place to do active meditation work is amid confusion and disturbances. When you do active meditation, you must penetrate through the heights and the depths without omitting anything. The whole essential being appears ready-made for you, and it no longer arises from anywhere else. It is just this one great potential, turning smoothly and steadily. Why talk any more about worldly phenomenon and enlightened truth? If you maintain a uniform equilibrium over months and years, naturally your stand will be true and solid. You will experience realization, like water being poured into water, like gold being traded for gold. Everything will be equalized in one suchness, profoundly clear, real, and pure. This is knowing how to live. Just do not give birth to a single thought. Let go and become crystal clear. As soon as any notions of right and wrong, self and other, gain and loss are present, do not follow them off. Then you will be personally studying with your own true enlightened teacher. If you do that, what worry is there that this work will not be accomplished? You must see for yourself. How to be a householder Bodhisattva. This affair is a matter of people of sharp facilities. It's like facilities or faculties? I think it's faculties. Yeah. This affair is a matter of people of sharp faculties and superior wisdom who do not consider it difficult to understand 1,000 when hearing one. It requires a stand that is solid and true, and faith that is thoroughgoing. When you can hold fast and act the master, and take all sorts of adverse and favorable situations and different circumstances and fuse them into one whole, a whole that is like empty space, without the least obstruction, profoundly clear and empty and illuminated, never changing, even in 100 aeons, or even 1,000 lifetimes, unitary from beginning to end. Only then do you find peace and tranquility. I have seen many people who are intellectually brilliant, but whose faculties are unstable, and whose practice is shallow. They think they witness transformation in verbal statements, and they assume that there is no way to go beyond the worldly. Thus they increase the thorns of arbitrary opinion as they show off their ability and understanding. They take advantage of their verbal agility and think that the Bodhidharma is like this. When situations are born from causal conditions, they cannot pass through to freedom, so they wind up facilitating back and forth. This is really a great pity. This is why the ancients went through all sorts of experiences and faced all sorts of demons and difficulties. They might be cut to pieces, but they never gave it a thought. They took charge of their minds all the way along and made them as strong as iron or stone. Thus, when it came to passing through birth and death, they didn't waste any effort. Isn't this where the special strength and generosity beyond emotionalism that the truly great people possess lies? Isn't this where the special strength and generosity beyond emotionalism that truly great people possess lies? When Bodhisattva who live a householder's life cultivate the practices of home leavers, it is like a lotus blooming in fire. It'll always be hard to tame the will for fame or rank and power and possessions, not to mention all the myriad starting points of vexation and turmoil associated with the burning house of worldly existence. The only way is for you yourself to realize your fundamental, real, wondrous wholeness and reach a stage of great calm and stability and rest. It would be best if you managed to cast off everything and be empty and ordinary, thoroughly experience the absence of conditioned mind, and observe that all phenomena are like dreams and magical illusions. Be empty all the way through, and continue on clearing out your mind according to the time and the situation. Then you will have the same foundation as all the great enlightened laymen in the Buddhist tradition. According to your own measure of power, you will transform those not yet enlightened, so that you can gather into the uncontrived, uncluttered ocean of true nature. Then your life here on this earth will not be a loss. Oh no, never mind. I was like, oh my gosh, are we almost done? No, it's just where I kind of broke my binder. Oh no! I broke my book just now. How sad. Well, if my family ever watches this, they'll understand that this book now truly belongs to me. Because nothing belongs to me if it isn't somehow a little bit broken, a little bit repaired. If it don't have duct tape on it, you have to question whether it belonged to me. Okay, sorry, a little sidebar there. That's why these are fun. They got hidden little Easter eggs of grandma. Okay, seriousness. It doesn't come from the outside. The essential thing in studying the way is to make the roots deep and the stem strong. Be aware of where you really are 24 hours a day. You must be most attentive. When nothing at all gets on your mind, it all merges harmoniously without boundaries. The whole thing is empty and still, and there is no more doubt or hesitation in anything you do. This is called the fundamental matter appearing ready-made. As soon as you give rise to the slightest bit of dualistic perception and arbitrary understanding, and you want to take charge of this fundamental matter and act the master, then you immediately fall into the realm of the clusters of forms, sensation, conception, value synthesis, and consciousness. You are entrapped by seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing, by gain and loss and right and wrong. You're half drunk and half sober, and unable to clean this all up. Frankly speaking, you simply must manage to keep concentrating even in the midst of clamor and tumult, acting as though there were not a single thing happening, penetrating all the way through from the heights to the depths. You must become perfectly complete, without any shapes or forms at all, without wasting effort, yet not inhibited from acting. Whether you speak or stay silent, whether you get up or lie down, it is never anyone else. If you become aware of getting all stuck or blocked, this is all false thought at work. Make yourself completely untrammeled, like empty space, like a clear mirror on its stand, like the rising sun lighting up the sky. Moving or still, going or coming, it doesn't come from the outside. Let go and make yourself independent and free, not being bound by things and not seeking to escape from things. From beginning to end, fuse everything into one whole. Where has there ever been any separate worldly phenomenon apart from the Bodhidharma, or any separate Bodhidharma apart from worldly phenomenon? This is why the founder of Zen pointed directly to the human mind. This is why the the Diamond Sutra, taught the importance of human beings detaching from forms. When a strong man moves his arms, he does not depend on someone else's strength. That's what it's like to be detached from forms. To develop this essential insight, it is best to spend a long time going back into yourself and investigating with your whole being, so that you can arrive at a stage of genuine experience of enlightenment. This is what it means to study with boundless, infinite, enlightened teachers everywhere in every moment. Strive sincerely for true faith and apply yourself diligently to your meditation work. This is the best course for you. I wish they would have told us at the beginning of each of these letters, these sections, to whom it was written. My grammatarians out there would know the answer to that multiple choice question. Was it written, or whatever the Morning coffee time is fun and laid back, and we're not formal around here. Abandoning entanglements. Now that wasn't a subliminal message. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a really good mood. Yantai said, abandoning things is superior. Pursuing things is inferior. If your own state is empty and tranquil, perfectly illuminated, and silently shining, then you will be able to confront whatever circumstances impinge on you with the indestructible sword of wisdom and cut everything off. Everything from the myriad entangling objects to the verbal teachings of the past and present. Then your awesome, chilling spirit cuts off everything, and everything retreats of itself without having to be pushed away. Isn't this what it means to be well endowed and have plenty to spare? If the basis you establish is not clear, if you are the least bit bogged down in hesitation and doubt, then you will be dragged off by entangling conditions, and obviously you will not be able to separate yourself from them. How can you avoid being turned around by other things? When you are following other things, you will never have any freedom. The ultimate path is simple and easy. It's just a matter of whether you abandon things or pursue them. Those who would experience the path should think deeply on this. People in ancient times gave up their whole bodies for the sake of this one matter. They stood out in the snow, worked as rice pounders, sold off their hearts and livers, burned their arms, threw themselves into roaring fires, and got dismembered and cut into pieces, fed themselves to tigers and birds of prey, gave away their heads and their eyes, endured 1,000 kinds of pain and suffering. And some, if you do not suffer hardship, you will not arrive at deep realization. Those with the will for the path must certainly consider the ancients as their comrades and aspire to equal their standard. Now, I'm not suggesting self-mutilation, since it's now the modern times. And even if you could go to the Japanese mountain or the Chinese mountain up in the middle of the low place where you could find the holy man, they ain't no holy man there, bo. That's why I'm grateful for all the ones who made these translations and brought them here to America. And when I think about it, my gosh, this happened in my lifetime. These words were not here. They weren't here. And now they are. And that's why it just hurts my heart so bad when I think that every single book I'm holding here, that I'm loving, that I can't wait to finish so that I can have it to me hearing when I'm old and I can't read no more. But those books are going to be in a landfill somewhere in less than 30 years. All this priceless. Okay, whew, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. All right, okay, I guess we're just going to have, just play. Meeting it wherever you touch. Round and clear, empty and still. Such is the essence of the way. Extending and withdrawing, killing and bringing life. Such is its marvelous function. When you are able to travel on the sword's edge, when you are able to persevere and hold on, when you are like a pearl rolling around in a bowl, like a bowl rolling a pearl around inside it, when you never fall to empty vanity for even an instant, when you never divide worldly phenomenon from Bodhidharma but fuse them into one whole, this is called meeting it wherever you touch. You appear and disappear and move freely in all directions, and there is never anything external. You are clean and naked, turning smoothly, sealing everything with the fundamental. It is clear everywhere, complete in everything. When has there ever been gain or loss, or affirmation and denial, or good and evil, or long and short? Your only fear should be that your own correct eye is not yet perfectly clear. This will cause you to fall into duality, and then you will lose touch with reality. Haven't you heard what Yang Xia said? The top flight people who have one decisive realization and comprehend all. Whoa, try again. Do it in his voice. The top flight people have one decisive realization and comprehend all. With people of the middling and lower sort, the more they hear, the more they don't believe. Okay, thank you. Please, now designated Yangxia voice. I'm sorry. I'm not a serious person today. Last one, and then I'll go. Words and truth. The verbal teachings of the Buddhas and ancestral teachers are just a snare and a trap. They are used as means of entry into truth. Once you have opened through to clear enlightenment and taken it up, then, in the true essence, everything is complete. Then you look upon all the verbal teachings of the Buddhas and ancestral teachers as belonging to the realm of shadows and echoes. So you never carry them around in your head. Many students in recent times do not get into the basis of the fundamental design of the Zen school. They just hold on to words and phrases, trying to choose among them, discussing how far or close or how far away they are from the truth, and distinguishing gain and loss. They interpret fleeting provisional teachings as real doctrines, and boast about how many koans they have been able to sift through, how well they can ask questions about the sayings of the 5 houses of Zen, a book we're going to read. They are totally sunk in emotional consciousness. They have lost the true essence in their delusions. This is truly a pitiful situation. A genuine Zen teacher would use any means necessary to warn them of their error and enable them to get away from all such wrong knowledge and wrong views. But they would reject this. They would call it contrived mental activity to turn people around and to shake them up and refine them. Oh, I had a false guru like that. Thus they enter even more deeply into the forest of thorns and erroneous views. As the saying goes, in the end, if you do not meet an adept as you get older, you'll just become a fossil. You must not depend on either pure nor the impure. Having mind and having no mind. Having views and having no views. Both alternatives vanish like a snowflake put on a red-hot stove. 24 hours a day, from top to bottom, you are free and untrammeled as you wander this road that the 1,000 stages do not share. Just bring this to complete purity and ripeness, and you will naturally become a real person, beyond study and free from contrived activity, a real person, whom thousands and 10,000s of people cannot trap or cage. That's it for now. Please forgive my randomness, but I hope you like it. Bye.